Thank you for the opportunity, but your opportunity sucked. He said that actually. It wasn't the opportunity I should have had, but I'm ecstatic about the opportunity, but the opportunity wasn't good. But thank you for the opportunity, but it really sucked. Now, didn't he say this after the Undertaker match in Saudi Arabia and after the Roman Reigns match? He said the same exact things, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you had 3 matches, and you're kind of saying everything around it outside of you was what was wrong with the match. Therefore, as I get older, and much older as time goes on, I want another crack at it, because if you give me a different opponent at a different setting, then I'll be happy with that match. But the first 3, with 3 different opponents, 3 different settings, big money matches, especially Saudi Arabia, but I'm not happy with it. So what's the problem here? What's the consistent problem in 3 of these matches? Yeah, you could say the booking, or is it one of those things, what's the saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Now fool me a 3rd time, who are you going to shame? If WWE is never going to do right by you, Goldberg, why do you keep coming back to go and let them creatively book it completely wrong? I agree with some of the points. I really do. Plus the fact your last match is also glossed over because John Cena's retirement year or retirement months. It's very muddied right now. So this whole thing, was thrown together out of nowhere. You expected us to remember the last time in Atlanta that Gunther disrespected you in January, and maybe
Early October, I think. It was 2024. Yeah.
Well, here's what Goldberg
needed.
Here's what Goldberg could have done. He could have kept doing interviews. He could have kept doing media. He could have kept talking about Gunther and how he's eventually going to get. He could have made his own push out of it. You see what I mean?
Mm.
But he disappeared. And obviously, dude, TKO, WWE, the presentation, you're booked in a fake wrestling match and a fake wrestling storyline. You can't just go out there and do whatever you're going to do. We understand that. But when you say, well, it wasn't what I wanted, well, what match do you want? What would be the perfect last Goldberg match? And please don't say me, because I don't want it.
Brett.
Really? Is that what he's not looking for that?
No, he isn't looking for that. I just said that. That's a good point you bring up.
It would be the
early,
best.
though.
It would be the longest storyline ever if both of them were physically able to do it. Think about it.
I was going to say it'd be the longest match ever if you included entrances. Like 20-minute entrances. Maybe they could go on a boat with the Young Bucks and go around the arena first.
Oh my God, my wife is still having nightmares about that.
Yeah. With okay, so I don't understand quite what the problem with the booking was, because he's been injured the entire first half of the year. He's barely been mentioned whatsoever. He's not been coming out publicly saying, "Oh, I want to do this, that, and the other." He's not creating, as you say, his own angle or advancing his own story there, which is absolutely right. He's not. He's sort of sat around for the most part, complaining that not everybody is doing right by him. But the fact is that also, he's not the most important person in WWE. This is a very short-term thing. And it seems to mostly be to placate Bill in this as well, because WWE would have just been just fine without this match. Even though the build just before Saturday night's main event was actually very good. Very simple, very basic, very good. But yeah, so why is he not happy? What would the booking be? He doesn't want to do anything on his own, off his own back. So what does he want WWE to do for him when he's out injured, eating to gain weight and letting the injections in his back kick in so he can move around again?
I don't have an idea, because I looked. We talked about the Undertaker match in Saudi Arabia. We talked about the Roman Reigns one, and I've watched both of those, and I'm thinking it's like. And the Brock Lesnar match was probably the last really, really good, solid match that got people excited, where he beat him out of nowhere. It was just the greatest hits within, 90 seconds? It's that what Goldberg wants. Because dare I say it, that was a match that got over successfully for what it was against Brock and how quick it was. But of course, Brock had run through everybody. So it was like a flash knockout that had everybody caught off guard. But then when you have a predictable match that's promoted and there's length to it, Goldberg gets exposed. This Saturday night's main event match was the least exposing match of Goldberg in many, many years. So what do you want? Dare I say, I think Goldberg wants to go out. Goldberg's greatest hits, goes out on top, wins a title, vacate the title tournament later on. Which is what I thought would happen if they weren't going to do the cash in from Seth. And I still stick by my theory that there was a chance that Goldberg was going to go over, Seth cashes in, becomes world champion.
What about the speech then? 28 seconds. It ends up being 10 minutes. For everybody who watched it, they've all said that it was a really, really great speech. Diamond Dallas Page obviously manages to get himself in a prime position in front of the camera.
Oh, I pointed that out right away.
Oh, I know. But he's complaining that obviously he only got 30 seconds. He wasn't given enough time for the speech, etc. So who's in the right here?
Well, that was set up to fail. That was set up on purpose. And Bill's kind of alluding to accidental, kind of on purpose booking type thing. My theory is they were supposed to go out with Gunther on top, Goldberg selling, and then the full post-match off-air, maybe WWE.com, social media, full speech would have aired there. Somebody made a mistake. Maybe they thought they had a couple minutes, or he was just going to thank everybody. They didn't know how much time they had. But there's no mistake. And somebody should have told Bill, just acknowledge the fans without talking. We're off the air. Now start talking. Was there confusion? Now, the thing that Bill didn't say, was this speech supposed to be on air or off air? I don't believe he said that, right? Nobody.
I figure he thought it'd be on air. Because he's upset that it was 28 seconds.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he would have included the detail. They told me that speech was going to be part of the show.
Yeah. Well, in 2 weeks, when the check clears, or the NDA clears, or whatever it is, then we'll probably find out, and then we'll get some more content out of it, quite frankly, for this show, when we react to it.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Do you think Bill did more harm than good if Gage, his son, potentially does go into the WWE NIL program as part of the main roster, because he automatically said they aren't paying him enough? WWE doesn't forget this. Do you think we have a multi-generational burial that may happen?
If they see money in Gage, they'll pay him, I'm sure. But the thing is that I'm sure WWE knows that Bill is a malcontent. And that's fine to a point. I mean, you have to be. You have to stick up for yourself and everything. But as far as like a build and a big show and everything, I thought it was really good. I mean, forget about the match. I don't know why he's not
satisfied with it.
And it wasn't on a PLE. It was on NBC. Far more eyeballs would be on that as well. So a lot of people would prefer that.
Yeah, especially in this day and age where if you're going to pay it a la carte, it's very expensive. If you're on the subscription, that's one thing. But what do you want them to do? Do you want them? Now, they could have booked in January. We're going to be in Atlanta for this pay-per-view. They could book that 6 months ahead. I do 6, 7 months. I do agree with that. But you got your hometown. You got free network television so more people can watch it. And dare I say it, you got to go out giving a speech on air or off air, a mixture of both, to your hometown crowd and your friends and family. You're right. What do you want, Bill? Just tell them what you want. What's the way to go out? Because nobody, Al Snow famously said, no wrestler goes out on the exact terms they want. So what do you want?
He, I think in the same interview, also said that he's now considering coming out of retirement again because he wasn't happy with that match, etc. But here's the other thing. There was something that Goldberg had suggested a couple of years ago. He was in contact with AEW at one point and then called Tony or the company beneath him, essentially, was what he was getting at. But he was also suggesting, well, I can just book my own show and then I'll go out. Why don't you do that then?
That's like people saying they want to start a podcast and they think it's super easy.
Yeah. That's like Bender the Robot saying, I'm going to start my own casino with blackjack and hookers, and then he just never does it.
So is he talking about booking the whole one show or the whole storyline leading up to his final match?
He's talking about booking an independent show, independent from WWE or anybody else.
Oh, just like this is my retirement independent show that I'm going to book the Georgia Dome or whatever for.
Yeah. Or kind of like the Ric Flair's last match, independent of and they can do whatever they want on that. Book the undercard, and then Undertaker.
I
Goldberg
told you when he
picks his
said.
opponent.
I told you when he said Gunther was next. There's going to be more. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. He didn't say last.
He didn't
Has
say
he ever
last.
said last?
He said it to Reigns and Taker, I believe, or one or the other.
Oh, well, maybe he should do a three-way with Roman Reigns and Undertaker. So then,
For all we know, I'm going to be the last match if I keep talking about this dude.
Does he know your new address?
Does he? No, but he knows my number.
That's fine. Charles Robinson.
Oh, Charles will give me my
be able
address.
to.
Yeah, Charles will do it. Turncoat.